received 2 positive replies. Love the honesty, refreshing compared to the usual sales pitches I get. Performance-based sounds interesting. When can you show me how this works? So yesterday I had this idea of starting a sales campaign live in front of you with literally no preparation, just me entering the market and trying to get a client. So I thought about it a little bit and I was like, let me just do it with a little twist. See, most people who do this kind of content on YouTube, or they try to show you all these positive replies, all these replies, etc. of their outreach, they rely heavily on social proof. I mean, obviously, if you reach out to a prospect or a lead saying, well, I built a gazillion-dollar business, right? Obviously, they're going to reply. If you say, well, I've grown my channel to 250K subscribers, obviously, they're going to reply. You can easily spot this, right? But how about we put ourselves in the shoes of the viewer? Obviously, the viewer is watching you to learn something, to go ahead and take action, like I always say. So you are watching this and you want to implement that, but you can't really use social proof because guess what? You don't have it, okay? So right now that you are watching this, you want to do this kind of stuff that I'm currently doing, but you don't have any social proof. So what can you do, right? So I'm going to show you guys that even without social proof, you can still get a client. You don't need to have like a specific dollar sign number or like a specific case study to get a client, okay? Because you already have your own story, and your own story is basically your social proof, right? Your identity is your social proof. It cannot be replicated. You are you because you are you. So can use that, right? So you're never starting from zero, okay? I want you to understand that you're never starting from zero. You always have a story to start from, okay? Because nobody can take that. Nobody can copy it, okay? Sure, they can copy your style of writing. They can copy your systems. They can copy anything, but they can never copy you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend I am a student, right? By the way, this applies to anything, to any, if you are a developer, if you are an SDR, if you worked in 9 to 5, you can still use the same tactics that I'm going to be showing you. So I'm simply going to pretend like I am a student and I'm reaching out to a decision maker and I want a client. That's literally what I'm going to do. So step 1 is I'm literally going to pick a niche. And we're going to do it using spin the wheel, just so people that are watching this are not going to be like, well, you actually researched these niches beforehand. So I'm simply going to pick 5 or 6 niches, and then we're just going to spin the wheel. I'm just going to take whatever comes out, okay? So we're going to pick a niche, and then we're going to have to scrape leads. We're just going to have a sample size of 600 leads that are enriched with emails, etc. And then simply, we're going to send and start getting those conversations, start talking to people, decision makers that potentially could be a client in the future. Okay, so it's probably going to take me 15 minutes to whip this out, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a lot of positive replies by the end of the day. Okay, so I'm just going to pick a niche. So I'm just going to Google spin the wheel. I'm just going to put, for example, healthcare, recruitment, I don't know, AI startups, cybersecurity, and then we're simply going to have to spin the wheel, okay? So let's see. Okay, so recruitment. Obviously, it's recruitment, right? So we have a winner, recruitment. So I'm just going to go ahead for recruitment agencies. Okay, so I'm just going to go to Apollo. So basically, Apollo is like a lead sourcing database, okay? They have 10 million leads, or pretty sure 20 million leads. So we're just going to go to Apollo, and then we're just going to build out a list that we're going to scrape. So I'm simply going to go to find people here. You see this find people, click on it. And then we're going to make sure we are always on the net new tab, okay? Always make sure you are in that new tab. So let me just delete some of these past searches that I have for my past campaigns, okay? And then make sure it's always email status verified and cache all excluded, okay? And I'm going to go to industries, and just like I said, we're just going to pick recruitment. So staffing and recruiting. So recruitment, okay? In terms of employees, I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to go for 21 to 50, 11 to 20, because 1 to 10, typically don't want to work with them. They usually broke. And if you're going for plus 200, plus 500, Well, not really 200 plus 500. This is where you enter the territory of enterprise. They usually have their own internal systems. So you want to go and like you want to be in a sweet spot. Like everything in life, the right answer is probably somewhere in the middle. Okay, so I'm just going to go 11 to 20 and 21 to 50. Okay, so they have the budget to actually invest and they're not at a level where they already have their own internal systems. So, okay. So buying intent, I don't really care about it. So I'm just going to go to job titles. At this point, when it's like 11 to 20, 21 to 50, you still want to talk to founders because they usually are handling most of the stuff. They're handling most of the fires in their company. So founder. Okay. So 3.4K, that's a lot of leads. I just want a sample size of like 1,000 leads. I'm going to go to revenue, minimum mil a year. So 1 million a year. Boom. And I'm going to add a couple more job titles here. So job titles, I'm also going to add co-founder. And maybe I'm going to add VP sales. So 600, I'm also going to add director of sales. All right. And I'm also going to add owner. Okay, 1.3K, sweet. So these are all recruitment agencies. So let's check some of these companies. Peak Performance, top dental staffing firm. Providing Michigan dentists the best dental talent. Okay, so I forgot to add the location. So obviously I'm going to go United States. And then we're going to have to make a bigger list. So 700. And I'm going to add a couple more job titles. So partner. So 1.5K. Sweet. Industry and keywords, company. I'm just going to type in AI, for example. Machine learning, artificial intelligence, DevOps, engineering, or let's just do software. Okay. Sweet. So software. We also have IT. I'm going to add IT. Okay. And then machine learning is already there. Development. Okay. 1.1K. Okay. Sweet. Pro focus technology. IT staff and technology. Okay. Sweet. So this is a company that I would want to work with in the recruitment space. So they provide tech careers. Okay. Sweet. So now I'm going to scrape these leads by going to Epify. Okay. And then I'm simply going to have to type in Apollo. The one that I want is going to be the 50K scraper. I'm going to leave this in the description. And then I'm going to try for free. Very simple. Copy this URL here. And then I am simply going to paste it here. And then how many leads do I have? Well, I have 1.1K. So 1,100. Run options is going to be no timeout and save and start. And I'm simply going to have to scrape all these leads. Okay. Very, very simple. So at the end, I just want like 600 leads that are valid with emails, etc. Okay, so I'm scraping output 100. The scraper is basically like $1 per 1,000 leads. So I'm literally, my cost right now is $1. So we are scraping right now. So we'll see. So I'm simply going to go to make. So you can use make or NA10. Very, very simple. Okay, I'm just going to name this starting a campaign as a student live. I want an Epify actor, so get dataset items, okay? So go to runs, go to this run, go to storage, and then copy this dataset ID, simply put it here. So limits is just going to be 1, okay? So this is basically the first name, last name, getting all these leads here. So I can use my own in-house tools. In fact, I will be using my in-house tools, but I'm going to show you guys how to use similar platforms to validate emails. So either an email finder, right? Or you can use like Mail Tester Ninja. So Mail Tester Ninja. If I go to the pricing, I will see that it is $4 per, $4. $4 per 100K emails, which is absolutely insane. Okay. You can also use mails.so, right? So mails.so, which is this one. But for the purpose of this video, let's just use any mail finder because I have credits here. So I'm just going to verify, right? And then actually I'm going to go to API. And I think in Make you already have one. So any mail finder, verify, validate an email. So validate an email. I'm going to click on this add button, go to settings. This is my API key, copy it, paste it here and save. So now I can essentially just validate the email by going to email, save, and then run once. And I'm going to check if this email is actually valid. So success equals valid. Okay. So this is how you would do it with any mail finder. Now I already have my own tool, which is this one. So by the way, this is the new platform specifically for the community, which is find, verify, and scrape contacts at scale. It's going to be paid for people outside, right? This is the dashboard. Let me know what you guys think. So we have the email finder, email verifier, LinkedIn company scraper, LinkedIn job scraper, copy angle, connector copy angle generator, logic-based email tool, Google Sheets reader, domain DKIM DMARC generator, and domain spam checker. So this is basically the platform. Is going to be paid outside. And this is basically the first time actually going into SaaS. So right now I'm running my agency, running school, and also building a SaaS with my CTO, Sammy. Love that guy to death. So this is kind of new to me. My goal here is to just build this to like 5 million a year platform, just kind of like any mail finder or whatever, like Hunter, and basically exit and sell this SaaS afterwards with like 10 to 15 million, because I'm pretty ambitious when it comes to this, and I'm going to make this the best platform ever. I'm thinking about making a new channel, basically like building in public, right? Where I go every single day and show you guys what happens, what's currently happening in my agency, what's currently happening with my SaaS, the problems that I'm encountering. So just let me know in the comments if you want to see this. By the way, people in the community actually just use this daily, which is the app here. So this is my API key. We have the LinkedIn. Still working on the front end because this, like I said, this is like the SaaS is very new to me, but I'm pretty sure, it's not hard. Like I've grown an agency to 100K a month. So it shouldn't be hard, right? So I'm just going to use an HTTP request, make a request. And then I'm just going to go to the email verifier. So I'm just going to copy this, put this here. And then I'm simply going to add the email here, method gets and authorization. Let me go back to so authorization, and this is my API key. So authorization, and this is my API key, and then paste this here, and I'm going to parse the response. I'm going to add a filter here, only if email exists. Sometimes it could be annoying with Edify, so email exists, save. And then let's check. Obviously, email exists, so boom, found the email. So deliverable. The cool parts about our own tools, it also gives you the email provider. Because, by the way, if you want to start a campaign, you want to send Google to Google, Microsoft to Microsoft. Never send from Google to Microsoft. You're going to land in spam. Okay, so this is going to be, for example, SSM, or the name of the SaaS. Okay, so let's check the run. So it's done. 1,000 results. It is here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to plug this into Instantly, okay? And I'm simply going to go to instantly.ai. By the way, we're not going to use any personalization. The reason why I'm not using it, just to show you guys that even if you don't want to use personalization, you can still make it work, okay? So I'm just going to log into this Instantly account. And then I'm going to go campaigns, create a new campaign. Let's just name this YouTube Students. Continue. And in terms of the sequence, I'm literally going to say, hey, first name. I know your time is valuable, so I'll only write 3 bullets. Or I understand your time is valuable, so I only write 3 bullet points. I am a computer science student. I built a sales system that can automate lead gen for you. This is my first time doing this. I want to get a client I can work on a performance basis. So I can add like a bullet here. I'm nervous with calls, but if you're interested, I can show you how it works. account, send in name. So hey, first name, etc. So let me just save this. And I'm going to add the leads now. So instantly add leads to a campaign. So campaign, I need to create a new one. I believe this is the one. Actually, I'll just re-authenticate my accounts. So I'll go to settings, and then I'm going to go to integration, API keys, make sure it's version 1, and then simply paste it here. And then I'm going to go to campaign ID, YouTube student. The email is email, first name, last name. I don't need the company name. I'm simply going to add the leads. So 3 steps. I'm going to add a filter. So I only want to deal with emails that are actually valid. So email, status equals valid. All right. That's pretty much it. I'm just going to batch 500. So run once. So I added the lead to my instantly. I will see it here. Okay. So this API is actually pretty quick. By the way, oh wow, I forgot something. Let me force stop this. I forgot to add a sleep module because I know I'm gonna get rate limited with instantly. So not a sleep module actually, it's a break module. Yeah, break module. So I'm simply gonna take a break, like 60 seconds. 1 minute. Save, and then allow storing of incomplete executions, and then auto align, and I can just again run once. It's so interesting how we're gonna be using this student angle, and I know it's gonna work because let me give you an example. See, when someone, like, imagine you are with your friends and someone says, guys, I'm actually like a boring person. In a weird way, when he said that, it became something interesting. You know, when someone says, I'm not an interesting person, I'm actually a boring person, it can, like, they differentiate themselves from all the people who are, quote unquote, interesting. Okay. So it's the same thing here if you really think about it. Also, the angle that we are using here in the copy, right? To go to copy. This is my first time doing this. I want to get a client. It shows authenticity. Okay. This is a brilliant angle. It cuts through the noise and also shows vulnerability. So right now I'm just gonna stop the recording real quick. And once this is done, we're gonna go ahead and launch the campaign, okay? All right, we just finished adding all this stuff. I actually went to get a coffee, and yes, I drink with a straw. It's funny because when I used to be a bouncer, I was all this big scary guy, but at the same time I was drinking using a straw, right? I am that guy. That's peak masculine experience right there. So we have 890 leads, okay, sweet. So now I'm simply gonna launch the campaign. In terms of the subject line, I'm thinking about CS student helping or reaching out to first name. Okay, sweet. In terms of the follow-up, I'm gonna do hey first name. Quick follow-up on my email from my last email. Still working on this lead gen system. Actually got it working better since I reached out. If you're curious what it looks like, I can send you a quick screen recording. No call needed. That's literally it. Okay, now I'm gonna add another step here. So, hey, again, first name. Last email from me. I know you're swamped. Got the system working with a few other companies now. If anything changes and want to see what we built or what I built, just reply and I'll show you. Thanks for reading my first cold email attempts. That's so cute. Save this. Save this. And then save this. Okay, in terms of the schedule, I'm gonna start sending right now. So 9 a.m. No, I'll do 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Also Saturday, now, save. And then I'm gonna go to options. Gonna use my emails. So I'm gonna keep clicking. I love clicking this. So, all right. Send as text only, yes. Send first email as text only, yes. And then, so sender ESP, send to Google, and then send to Google, and then Microsoft send to Microsoft, and that's pretty much it. Okay. So save this and then enable provider matching, reply rates. So campaign is launched. The only thing we have to do now is just wait. All right, so this is a couple hours later. I went to the gym, came back, and I received 2 positive replies and 2 out of office. So this is the first one. So this person, so this is the email copy that I sent, which is this one. And this is what they said. Love the honesty, refreshing compared to the usual sales pitches I get. Performance-based sounds interesting. When can you show me how this works? We've also received another out of office, which is this one. And they sent, so they essentially said, can you forward this email to someone else's? So this is the initial email. They said, thank you so much for reaching out. I'm on maternity leave mid-August. And I essentially just forwarded my original message. By the way, if someone says out of office, simply just forward your message to the person who is in charge currently, right? That's literally it. So I said, hey, Michelle, thank you for the reply. Forwarding my original email below as requested. Okay. So why this worked, okay? Let's just actually dissect this, all right? Hey, name. I understand your time is valuable, so I'll only write 3 bullet points. I am a computer science student. I built a sales system that can automate lead gen for you. This is my first time doing this. I want to get a client I can work on a performance basis. Now, the reason why this copy worked is because this is what I like to call a brilliant value prop, okay? See, the first time doing this angle is pure gold. The reason why is because it's authentic. It signals authenticity, vulnerability that cuts through all the bullshit social proof theater, okay? There's no social proof. We're just reaching out, okay? And the reason I did this is because most gurus, guys, are showing you their 47th iteration with perfect reply rates. What I'm doing is I'm showing you the real deal. No social proof, messy, uncertain, human. You know, this is way more relatable than another screenshot of like 500 plus reply rates, okay? And reason why this copy worked too is because founders will actually want to help you because you're not pretending to be some email ninja. You're just a student trying to figure it out. Okay. And this applies to any, if you're a developer, if you're an SDR, if you're working in any 9 to 5, it still works. So it's way more powerful than watching someone who makes $50K a month do their polished routine. Okay. So this is the reason why it worked. As you guys can see, it's not rocket science. Anyone can do it. So the only thing you have to do right now is basically just get out there, take action. I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.